Thank you for clicking on the video. This video is going to be all about how I ran my half marathon, and I'm going to be doing it while I'm actually running. I've got 6 miles to do today, so I'm going to warm up and we're going to get right into it. Let's go. Okay, so if you clicked on this video, it means that you're probably thinking about running a half marathon. So I want to be right up front, right at the beginning. I am not a professional. This was my first half marathon and I had never even really ran before this year. So take that into consideration that you are watching a video of someone who is by all means a beginner runner. But I do want to tell you about how I approached it as a beginner runner. If you're also a beginner, you know, I was morbidly obese. I was 406 pounds and I just finished a half marathon. So like, I've been through a journey for sure. And like I said, by no means am I professional, but I do feel like I know what it's like to go from one extreme to the other. Anyway, I did not just like jump out of the gates being able to run. It was a long journey just to get me to a position where I could run. So if you are thinking about a half marathon and you are morbidly obese, I would suggest you take a slow journey like I did. You know, it took me about 1.5 years before I actually even started running. A lot of my weight loss happened, you know, on the elliptical, you know, not out on the road, not on the track, not on the treadmill, but on the elliptical, because my knees were bad, my ankles were bad, just my joints in general. You know, being 400 pounds is no joke, and it wrecks your joints. So the only thing I could do was the elliptical or a stationary bike. So that's what I did. That's how I burned calories for, you know, I would say the majority of my weight loss. If it was cardio, that's what it was: elliptical and stationary bike, and the rower. Don't forget the rower. So that's my number one tip. My first tip of this video is, if you're getting started, start any way you can, by walking, by elliptical, whatever it is, just so that way you can get some pounds off of you before you actually start running. So you understand where I'm coming from. I didn't actually start running until I was 270 pounds. Yeah, I started running when I was 270, and when I started this entire journey I was 406. So that's a long time before I actually started putting feet to pavement, as they say. Because anytime I tried, it was just like my knee would kill me and my back would hurt. It was just like my joints, my body just wasn't ready for the type of impact of throwing myself around during a run will cause. Okay, so that's tip number one. If you are morbidly obese and you want to run a half marathon, you absolutely can, but I definitely suggest using types of exercise that are low impact on your joints, so that way you can actually get out and run once you're down to a little bit lighter of a weight. Okay, and now that the first tip is out of the way, I'm gonna go ahead and start my run, and we'll pick back up with tip number 2, which is a training plan. Let's go. Okay, so my first tip was how to prepare your body to start running, and my second tip is the training plan that you should use when you do start. So, oh, by the way, I'm a mile in. The last mile was 9:36, so nice. A little bit faster than I want to be going. I should kind of keep it around 10, but we'll see. Okay, training plan. So if you're a new beginner runner like me, I didn't want to spend, you know, a ton of money on all these training plans. I mean, they are wildly expensive. So I went with an app. It's highly rated on the App Store, called Fitness 22. I did make a full video about the app and about the training program. So if you want to check that out, I'll link it. Basically, Reader's Digest version, it's $14, and it gives you, I think it's 18-week training program. So you follow that for 18 weeks, and then that'll get you ready. Damn stoplights. That'll get you ready for a half marathon. It gives you different things. So it's like tempo runs, pacing runs. It'll get you timed runs where you like sprint for a minute and then jog for 2 minutes. It's a lot of fun, actually. I mean, as fun as running can be. But and if you have headphones in, it's given through you through audio cues, which is great. It's super helpful, and like I said, mainly affordable, because like I said, when I first started, I mean, some of these training plans are hundreds of dollars, and if you're going from not running at all and you're not even sure if this is something you want to do, you just kind of are thinking about it, that's a big investment. So that's what I did. Fitness 22. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put this down, check back in with you at the next mile and the next tip. Okay, 2 miles in. Last mile was 10:22. Much closer to the pace I want to try to stick to. That hill was no joke. Okay. Next tip. What do I listen to when I run? So, I listen to 3 different things. It depends on what my goals are for that run. On days that I want to run fast, obviously, I listen to a couple of banger playlists that I have. I have a running playlist. That's the reason I love Spotify, is I make my own playlists. I'll go find other people's playlists to take from and just kind of pad mine. Thank you. So Spotify is great for that. So if I'm trying to pace though, music is my worst enemy. If I'm trying to run on a pace like I am today, I will listen to an audiobook or a podcast. The reason being is I can kind of get lost in the conversation and just focus on my breathing. I can hear my breathing better when I'm listening to an audiobook or podcast, and I can just kind of concentrate on the pace. Now, if I'm going for a long run and need to focus on my pace, I will listen to a playlist I just found recently on Spotify called Drums for Runners. I'll link that below as well. It is a great playlist. It might not work for you, but the drums are like tribal, and like it feels like I'm like going in a battle, you know, but they're not too fast, and you can just kind of pace yourself to the beat of the drums. It's great. So those are the 3 things I listen to: bangers, podcasts or audiobooks, and drums. Now I know those aren't revolutionary concepts, but I have found that they've really helped me when I need to focus on a certain thing for my run. If I just switch those out, it's very helpful. And on days where I listen to music, like the other day I was supposed to pace, and I listened to music and I let the music get the better of me, and I ran way too fast of a pace. So that way for the very next day I had a long run, and I was gassed. I was so tired from my long run, I could barely finish. And that's because the day before I didn't pace correctly. So if you're following a training plan, it is very important to stick to that. And for me, what I put in my ears really helps. Okay, check in on the next mile. Okay, 3 miles in. Last mile was 10:28. Feeling great. Okay, next tip. It's gonna be about supplements. So I am a brand ambassador for BPN, Bare Performance Nutrition. But I've been taking and following BPN way before I was an ambassador. They've got the best supplements on the market. I've tried a lot, especially their green supplement. I mean, that's another topic, but I'm telling you, I don't talk about any company or product that I don't firmly believe in, and I love BPN. I take some type of supplement from BPN every single day. It's great. Anyway, for the run, what I took specifically is, before the run, I took a combo of their Flight, Intra-Flight, and G1M Sport. So what that means is I took a pre-workout, a BCAA, and their new, it's like an endurance fuel supplement. It is a energy and carb-based supplement. It's great, man. It's really great. And that trifecta right before a run was exactly what I needed. So I had that right before I started. I had a 2-liter hydration vest, and in there I had 2 liters of water, obviously, and 3 servings of their Intra-Flight, which is the BCAA. And then in my front water bottle here, I had another serving of G1M Sport. So I had that saved for the middle of the run after 6 miles or so to help me refuel and re-energize right in the middle of the race. That way it would carry me through the end. So that is what I had before and during, and then post, I had another water bottle that had more BCAAs and another serving of G1M Sport. You basically want to have 1 serving of G1M Sport for every hour of activity you have. You could do it like I did before, during, and after, or you could just do it during or just after to help you recover. It's kind of really up to you, but I really like having before, during, and after, especially because on a long run like that, I am really sweating. I mean, look at how I'm sweating right now at 3 miles. Imagine 13. So I really, along the race, need to rehydrate, specifically rehydrate. I also need to refuel, but the hydration is what I'm usually the most concerned with, because I've ran once not being hydrated and it's brutal. I felt like I was gonna die. And we're at the happiest place on earth. Anyway, I'll check back in with the next tip. Okay, 4 miles in, another 10-minute, 38-second mile pace. Okay, for this next tip, it's gonna be about nutrition during the race. So I brought a few different things with me on the race. One of those being a honey stinger, some jelly beans, and a Cliff Bar, but the Cliff Bar I ate like right before the race. There's a lot of different things that you can bring to give yourself nutrition during a race, but I highly recommend, I don't even recommend it, I demand that you test it beforehand. During your training leading up to the half marathon, taste the different types of nutrition, especially the gel packs and the energy chews. So I used to get the Cliff Goos, the little goo packs. They mess up my stomach every time, and I only know that because of training. So get yourself a mixture of different things, because you also might not know how good something tastes when you're working. You know, like right now, my mouth is dry, I'm hot, I'm tired. I don't want to have to work for anything. You might not think those goos are that much hard work when you're fresh, but if you're in the middle of training, you'll find that those things are thick and it's hard to get it down. I don't want to deal with that when I'm running. I don't want anything to take away from my focus from the run. So that's why I opt for the jelly beans in place of the goo. I also like to have, because I'm burning so many calories, I also like to have, dang, I am not getting lucky with these stoplights today. I also like to have the honey stingers, because I do like to have some type of actual food. Honey stingers are great, they taste good, and the most important thing, something that you might not think about, another reason why it's important to train with this stuff, is the packaging. The packaging of honey stingers is way easier to open one-handed. When you're running, like right now, if I were to need to try to eat a honey stinger, it'd be no problem. Something else I enjoy are the Gatorade chews, the energy chews. They're delicious, but if I were to try to open one right now, it'd be near impossible because of the package. On the day I have my hydration pack, I need to be able to reach in, grab my nutrition, open it with one hand basically, eat it with one hand, and then store the trash with one hand. The goos are like that, but like I said, I don't like the way they affect my stomach. And I like the way the Gatorade is and the taste and everything, but I do not like the packaging. So I can't use it during a race or during a run. It's annoying even from training because I have to stop. I have to open it with two hands. You have to be careful. The gel pads will fall out if you don't open it correctly. It's just a mess. And that's where the Jelly Bellies are supreme. The packaging is perfect. You can open it with one hand, pop the little seal, you can dump them straight in your mouth, you could eat a few of them, and they have a resealable bag that it comes with, which is amazing. So you don't have to eat all of them, you can eat half a pouch and save the rest for a little bit later on in the run. So, me personally, I really love honey stingers and the Jelly Bellies. Not to mention the Jelly Bellies are top class when it comes to taste. And when you're, you know, 6 miles in and you pop your first patch of jelly packs, oh my God, it is literally a sweet treat. It tastes so good. I wouldn't mind having a pouch right now. I'm just doing 6 miles, so I didn't really think I needed it, but man, the sun is beating down on me right now. Okay, 2 miles left. I'll check in on the next one. Oh, 5 miles in. 10:50 pace, still feeling good. Okay. Second to last tip is pacing. You have got to have and be able to pace yourself. You are gonna want to, on race day, you're gonna be very excited. You've been training for a long time for this. You're gonna wanna go out and start breaking records. I can't recommend not doing that enough. You will gas yourself out in the beginning of the race, and then by the end of it, you got nothing left in the tank. You want it to be the other way around. When you start running, it should feel slow. When I started my half marathon, I was like, God, this feels so slow. But I'm tracking on my watch. I see my pacing is on point. My heartbeat is right where I want it to be. And so I think, okay, the reason I feel like I'm going so slow is because my adrenaline is so high that this doesn't feel natural to go this slow, even though I'm going the exact pace I should be. So the only way you'll learn how to pace is doing it in your training. That is why training is so important, to learn your pacing, because on race day, your race is going to be won or lost on your pace. If you're not paying attention to your pace and you blow out your lungs right at the beginning, the first 2 miles, man, let me tell you, that's gonna be a long 13 miles for you. So yeah, like I said, pacing is huge. Don't sleep on it, and absolutely practice your pacing. And you'll find what your pacing is through your training with whatever app you're using. If you're using an app, if you're using a coach, if you're using a running program, all of them should have some type of pacing schedule built into it. So that way you know what your half marathon pace is. All right, 1 mile left. Let's go. Okay, there it is, 6 miles in 1 hour and 2 minutes for an average 10:19 pace. I am not mad at that. I'm actually pleasantly surprised with that pace because it is so hot outside. Thankfully right now there's a nice cool breeze. Mother Nature's way of congratulating me on a 6-mile run. Whew, okay, my last tip, and maybe the most important one. If you are planning on running a half marathon and you are coming from a similar place that I did, obesity, my #1 tip for you is to be patient. Do not rush your training. Do not rush your progress. Don't expect results right away. I promise you, you will set yourself up for failure if you think that way. This is gonna take time. A half marathon is a beast, especially for someone like me. So think about that as you start on this journey. Like, it's gonna take time, it's gonna take dedication, it's gonna take a lot of hard work. But most importantly, like I said, it's going to take time, and that's okay. Everyone is different. I might have been faster than you, you might be faster than me. It doesn't matter. As long as you were taking care of yourself, you were putting in max effort, you're not making excuses, then it doesn't matter how long it takes. That's just you, and that's all good. So thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, I post every single day on Instagram. My Instagram account is basically my own public accountability mirror. So go there, send me a DM, I will respond. And thank you again for watching this video. If you liked it, please subscribe, click that little bell in the corner so you're notified every time I post a new video. And I will see you next week on Wednesday, as promised. This is like 4 weeks in a row now I've hit my Wednesday mark. I am very proud of that. All right, take it easy, stay hard, be relentless.